What's up, guys? It's your boy Kazaris back with another fun and competitive deck profile. I used this Runick for Hire deck to get 5th place at the Philadelphia Regional yesterday. 10 rounds of Swiss, I went 9-1. There were about 550 players. And the deck felt extremely good all day. I didn't break once. My only loss was against a Flu player, Shifters game 2 and 3. Like Shifter hurts the deck obviously, but typically it's Shifter and a Kashtira deck, which I have sides for, so I have a better chance to combat them after they skip my turn. But it was just unfortunate. But that was the only loss, was round 3, and then I finished out the rest of the day pretty strong. So yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll explain a bunch. So first up, the For Hire monsters. There are For Hire cards. There are 17 of them. 3 Rex Freight for Hire, 3 Fossil Dig. Some people I see like playing like 2 Fossil Dig or like 5 Rex total. I think that's wrong. You have to see this card. This card is the best card in your deck. You want to open it. Opening multiples is honestly good because you can use both of them. Summon the first, discard the second off Hugin, and then you can banish the first one from your grave to add something back to hand or special summon it on your turn 1, and then you have the second one in the grave to do it on your opponent's turn as a quick effect to trigger your effects like Dump at pop cards. So you want to see Rex, even if you like see dead Fossil Digs later in the game, it just doesn't matter, because if you're drawing a ton of cards and one of them is dead, that means, oh no, you have like 12 cards instead of 13. It's like you're drawing 6 cards with this deck like almost every turn, so it's just absolutely fine. You just have to open beat Rex to like really give yourself a head start. Same with beat. I see some people playing like 1 or 2 beat. This is also one of the best cards in your deck. It's great to start with, especially if you open Rookie, that you can like beat someone from hand. If they try to interrupt it, you can just tribute beat to summon Rex, resolve beat, Rex, search mayhem, reborn beat, resume playing. It's also how you play through like 2 interruptions, because you can discard this off Hugin, and then if they interrupt your Rex and your Hugin, then you can make Donner to summon back the beat that you discarded, and then summon back Rex, and then trigger beat, and then just keep playing as if nothing happens. It says it's good to open. You just want to see it, and you also just want more For Hire names. So like if you open multiples, the next one is just like a discard off of the monster and spell trap negates for later in the duel. Speaking of which, all the 1-of For Hires. So you have the Rafala and the Wiz. This is a monster negate. It is also Pot of Duality on summon, and that excavates equal to your other For Hire names. So typically you get like 2 or 3 off of it, and then you add any card. So this is like the bridge of the deck. This is what makes it so consistent, because like if you're missing Runick cards, you can just excavate the top 2 or 3, add any Runick card from your deck to your hand, and then get away to trigger Fountain turn 1 to draw 3. Like if you only open 1 Runick card, and then the rest is going to be For Hire cards, because if you're not opening Runicks, then you have to open For Hires, because like half the deck is Runick and half the deck is For Hire. So it's just statistically this makes sense statistically that the rest of your hand will be For Hires. This card can get you to like Runicks because it excavates and adds any card. So it's really good. It's also Monster Negate, does not destroy by discarding For Hire. Wiz is a way to win in time. It gains you life times 500, equal to your other For Hires on the field. I did not go to time once. I had a really smooth regional, actually, not a single judge call. Didn't go to time once. So the deck just played well and got wins without like cheesing in time. So that felt good, but like it does have a way to win. Both the Runick engine and the For Hire engine have time conditions. So this is also a spell trap negate by discarding a For Hire card. I was on 2 Rafala because like it's kind of good to open like beat, because you can reborn it if you open it and trigger it that way. But I just wanted to play an even 40, so I did cut the second one. And I didn't miss it all day. I actually didn't play a single cash, which is wild to me. Not that the deck struggles with it. I wasn't going to go into this event playing this deck knowing that I struggle against the best deck in the room. But like I didn't play a single one. I played 4 Despia. I have 2-0'd every single one because of a card on the side deck. And then I played 2 Lab. I beat both of them. My only loss was to Floowandereeze because they shifted me again game 2 and 3. And it's like it's fine if it's Kashtira because you have side deck cards, but Flu, it's like they shifted me. I made Scareclaw Tryheart with Eradicator set, but I had 0 follow-up, so she just played through that, and I was kind of cooked. Oh well. Then the 1-of little guys, Dampa. This is your way to pop cards without the Runick engine, and all your For Hire engine always accesses this. So it triggers if another For Hire summons. So use Rex or Mayhem to summon one from grave on the opponent's turn to pop a card and draw 3 off full go, and then you'll almost 100% see a Runick card off that. Seal is how you grind along with Philo. So Philo makes link boards that like lets you reborn stuff that you had to link off to summon Folgo. And then Seal adds stuff back to hand to keep negates alive for Wiz and Rafala. So like these cards are definitely mandatory. I wanted all of these all day. like I'm glad I had all of these because they're just like a bunch of scenarios where like adding back a for hire to turn back on these negates is like great, and then using this to make link boards to out a Dragoon to link into like Underworld Goddess or something. They were all great. One of everything. I feel like they're all mandatory at the moment. And then the spell traps, well, just spells. 2 rookie for hire, 1 mayhem. This is good to open, but like you don't want to open multiples because it's a hard once per turn. And it's like good to have a second one to search with Rex sometimes, but you don't like people play 3 of this. Again, it's a hard once per turn. I don't. The brick hands are when you open like too many unplayable cards. Like I just want a nice mix of Runicks and for hires, maybe a going second hand trap or something. Like I want all of my cards to be playable, so I don't want to play too many hard once per turn cards, which all the Runicks are, but like they're all like discardable off Hugin, and you can use them as upstart goblins. So like I almost wanted to play one of this, but it wasn't realistic with cash because they can banish it, and then it's kind of and then you really need to resolve this just to see the for hire engine. And it's good to like set on the opponent's turn to tribute Rafala to summon Wiz, and then bring back Rafala to excavate again on the opponent's turn. So you can do some really cool tricks with these, and this being a reborn is nice as well, just to play through hand traps and stuff. I'm glad I played 2. I didn't miss the 3rd one ever, again, because this is addable from the graveyard off of Rex as well. And playing the 2 targets to vary, like if you open 1, you can search the other, and then have both to play with. It's really nice. For the Runick cards, pretty straightforward. I shouldn't really have to explain these much. 3 tip, 3 flashing fire, 3 destruction, 3 freezing curses. I played 2 slumber, 1 dispelling, 1 smiting storm, and 2 fountain. So it's 16. Most people play 17, 3 slumber than one of each of these. I saw a profile playing 15 with just 3 slumber, which is it's just objectively incorrect, because you want, even if you're playing 15, you want one of each of the rares, because you want to have varied names to resolve, so that you can just like resolve 6 different names turn 1, or just have cards to actually activate that way. Like if you're opening 2 slumber, one of them could have been a different name that you could have activated to keep playing. So like objectively this is correct, but I did want the 2nd slumber. I just wanted so with 16 Runics, you have a 65% chance to open 2 versus like a 60% chance with 15. And I just wanted to have like that little bit extra percentage chance to see multiples. And then like the destruction and flashing fire are ways to destroy back row or monsters to trigger Folgo to draw 3. So you'll draw 3 off Folgo, and then after you resolve it, you'll also draw however many off of Fountain, like 1, 2, 3. So like often on your opponent's turn, like the first action they do, you just want to interrupt it because you're going to draw like 5 or 6 cards off of it. And then you can just use the rest of the cards you draw to interrupt the rest of your play. So like sometimes, I don't want to say always, but like sometimes you wait for like an important card, but like usually the first card they play, you're like, all right, get rid of it, draw 5, and now I have like 12 cards to your 5, and it's pretty much a game over from there, especially if you like resolve your combo uninterrupted. Then going second cards, there's only room for 5 to make it 43 Ash to Nibiru. Ash is great. You have to play this. It's like the best hand trap in the game right now, especially because I played 4 branded. I really put in work there. And then there's a really cool side deck card that you use with it. And then 2 Nibiru, again, I didn't play any cash, but like even if I did, if they're not respecting Nib game 1, I wanted to have it because I cannot get 5 zone locked. It's really hard to play, especially if they go for back row. But like people play cash very differently. Sometimes if they just go for a Rise Heart Pass, the Runick engine outs it very easily. You have tip, freezing curses or flashing fire to just pop it or negate it and play after that. So I wasn't really worried about a Rise Heart Pass. I was just really worried about like people just going for the zone lock and not respecting Nib. So I wanted to have it. I got main deck drolled twice, 2 matches. Nib was really good against a Sprite player was playing it, and like he wasn't able to set up red before Nib after he drolled me, so I was able to hit him with it, and it caught him off guard. And it was good against who else? It was good against a Sun Avalon player. I played 1 Sunvine Sun Avalon player, and it really got him good. He just set 1 pass turn after that, and that was a round 8 that I was able to win pretty easily. Finally was able to get food after that because all my games had gone so long. That's the main deck, 40 even. It's honestly, the engines are pretty straightforward. It's 17 for higher cards, 18 Runicks, and 5 non-engine, and then the deck really flows well. So for the Runicks, 1 Jerry, 1 Moon, and 2 Hugin. Mugen is a way to win in time. Unfortunately, you had to play it. And it's also just being a level 3, lets you access different for hires with Rookie, whereas Hugin being level 2, you can only get 1 or 3, but Moonin being level 3, you can get 2 or 4 off of Rookie. So that's very important. Jerry is just good to add back Fountain from Grave. It came up twice, so I'm glad I played it. And then it was, I never used the battle phase effect to, if it's destroyed in battle, you can destroy a card on the field. That never came up. But like Moonin, I never had to use the time effect, so it was just a body majority of the time. And then like you want to have 2 Hugin, because if the first one gets interrupted, you want to be able to summon the second to really get the Fountain. Definitely important, didn't miss a single one of these. And again, if they banish one off Kashtira, off the Diablosis, you want to have the second one. For higher links, you play 2 Folgo, 3 Donner. Donner is absolutely insane in this deck. Most people just play her for the Scrap Dragon effect, pop yourself, pop a monster to clear up their field. But in this deck, you can tribute her, or you can tribute a user effect to tribute a for hire monster, and then summon a for hire from hand or grave, non-targeting. And then if you tributed a link, you can summon another monster with a different name than the monster you tributed. So you can summon 2 of the same monsters as long as both of those monsters are not the monster you tribute. So you can like tribute herself, summon beat, then summon beat, trigger the first beat. That came up once. But majority of the time, if you go resolve Rex as your only for hire, and then you have a runic spell to summon Hugin, you go Rookie, tribute Hugin to get beat, link them both off for Donner, and then Donner summon back the beat first, and then the Rex, which triggers the beat to get your for hire engine online, because you add Rafala, and then special Rafala, activate the top, and then you're able, if you have another card, you're going to hit either another for hire or another runic card, and then use the another runic to extend because you cleared the extra monster zone, and then those 3 monsters leave the Rafala on the field. Those 3 monsters make full go to summon from decks, and you keep playing. So Donner is a way to trigger your for hires if you don't open like any additional to summon from hand, which is like the thing the deck needed, because if you didn't open enough for hires, you had no way to like get the chain going to summon 1, summon 1, summon 1, summon 1. But Donner really helps that. And then Folgo. And you want to play 3, because if they banish one off cash, you want one for your turn 1, and then 1 for a follow-up, because your board's not like great, it doesn't end on a ton, but like you're just going to have a ton of cards in hand to follow up, so you want to be able to get Donner again in the case where you don't have enough for hires to summon back 2 from the grave, because your grave is going to be stacked. You're going to have like summon back seal, summon back beat, seal effect, add from grave, Rafala, beat, summon Rafala, excavate, add from deck, and then because you have them all online already, Donner just gets them all back in rotation. So you want 1 for the turn 1, 1 for the follow-up, and then you're playing 3 just in case they banish 1 off of Diablosis. But you're also playing 3 just to like disincentivize them from banishing 1. Folgo, you're playing 2, again, in case of Diablosis, but you also make 2 sometimes. You make the first one, and then against board wipes like Raigeki and Darkhole, you typically want to make IP, so that if they do that, you can go IP link with itself and 2 other monsters for the second Folgo, which can't die because it's IP protected. The first one dies, this one summons from deck, and then you Rex to summon back from grave, and now you have 3 online again, so that if you use a runic spell, this will draw 3. So it's like the board wipe never even happened. Definitely worth playing. Glad I played all 5 of those for sure. Generic link 2, only IP. This card's just great to link climb and link on the opponent's turn for varied interruptions. Unicorn again off of the IP, and then Scareclaw is crazy against Despia. It's almost an FTK, because like even if they put up Dragoon, like if you're not threatening, some people just hold the Dragoon forever because you're not threatening it immediately, so you're able to just link, summon 3 monsters, link into Triheart, and put it into defense, and then they can never out the Triheart with any main deck card unless it's a non-engine. Like the Despia engine itself cannot out Triheart because they have no way to make their own guys unaffected and like keep them in attack to banish the Triheart. So like Triheart's not doing anything, but it's just staying on the field and just keeping all their guys in defense, which is great. And it's also your Eradicator target because you play Eradicator in the side deck. 1 access code is a way to clean up board states without your battle phase, and it also triggers Folgo because you're destroying a card. Great card for sure. And then Underworld Goddess, you have no way to out towers like monsters, like Dragoon specifically, because all of your runic spells target, so you needed a way to link off Dragoon. It came up twice. I got Dragoon twice, and I was able to link it off twice for Underworld Goddess. I also linked off Mirror Jade without triggering the effect because it's sent by game mechanic. It's not sent by my card. I'm just linking with it. And then the best, not the best card, but like a great card in the side deck that I had like a Eureka Shower Thought with is number 29 Mannequin Cat. So not a lot of people know where to ash this deck. Typically they'll do it on Rex, or they'll do it on Hugin to search, or they'll even do it on like Fountain to draw 3. in which case if you have Rex and Hugin, you overlay 2 from Mannequin Cat. I'll just demonstrate right now. So if they ash you, you go Mannequin Cat using Rex and Hugin. That's not Hugin, that's Jerry. Overlay these 2 from Mannequin Cat, detach the Rex specifically so that you have it in the graveyard, target their Ash Blossom to summon it to their field, and then use Mannequin Cat's effect to summon your own Ash Blossom. And now you put a monster on their field turn 1, which means you can pop it with Folgo to draw 3. Or you can leave it there to turn off Evenly Match and all the cash monsters. They have to like specifically have Birth plus a normal summon in order to out it, in which case you have like Runick Destruction to pop Birth, etc. Or like a way to like negate the normal summon, and then they have no way to keep playing. And it gets like really, it just simplifies the cash matchup so much, because if they ash you, they just have a much worse time. And then it also clears out the extra monster zone without getting rookie. Like if they ash you or Rex, you don't get rookie, but you clear up the extra monster zone. And then any other like runic spell gets you a fairy, a zombie, and a beast to make Folgo to summon. Like it changes. Like it depends what they ash. So if they don't ash Rex, you get rookie, but they ash Hugin. So okay, you do the Mannequin Cat play, summon another Runick, get to Folgo. Folgo will summon Beat from deck, and then you rookie tribute Beat to summon Dampa, and then you banish the Rex that's in the graveyard to reborn the Beat, trigger Dampa to pop the Ash to draw 3, and then you're most likely going to draw a Runick card or a for hire card to summon to trigger Beat. So it's kind of dependent on what you draw, but you're just drawing so much that the odds that you don't see something to keep playing is just so low. That it's like not even worth considering the possibility. Like you're going to, like half of your deck are for hires and half of your deck are Runicks, so you're going to see one of them to keep playing. And then onto the side deck. The side deck was pretty solid all day. I played the 3rd Nib in the side and 2 Imprim. I wanted something for Naturia Runick because Beast can just like solo this deck if they go first. And I'd like, if they don't play in a Nibiru or I don't have like Ash to stop them, then I definitely wanted something to out the Naturia Beast. I sided this in a few times against Despia also, but it just, I never saw it, so like it didn't do much. Nibiru was great though. The card that won me 4 games today was Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. And it's like, you could just argue that this deck isn't good and it's just this that won me the games, but the engine of the deck got me to this card because I excavated 3 off of Rafala, I drew 3 off of Folgo, I drew 3 off of Fountain. So the deck itself helps me to see this card. Going second against Despia if they don't put up Dragoon, which they can't do all the time. I got Nightmare locked once. I just set this and set Rookie for hire, and I summoned Beat so that like on their turn I tributed the Nightmare for Wiz. Wiz gained life, Beat searched, and then I flipped this when they went for Branded Fusion, and they just couldn't play. They had Cyclones in the main deck, but the Runick engine just banished them. So it's just like this card just like single-handedly beats Despia first or second, and then against Cash you put this in going first because they summon Unicorn. You flip this. If they don't have Lance or a way to deal with this, they cannot activate the Unicorn, and they're stuck with a body on the field. Like they can go, they have to immediately have Birth plus another normal summon to get to like Dark-Armed Dragon of Annihilation to pop this. But even if they do that, they're not getting the value off of the Unicorn. If it's like a normal summon Fenrir, it's a normal summon monster, so they can. But you also have the Runick spells. Like you can just have Destruction to pop the Birth, and then they just lose. They just straight up lose. Because at that point, your engine is so far ahead that on your turn, you're going to pop another card, and then you're going to have the Destruction for if they have another Birth. And then this card is just sticking around. So it's especially good in this deck because you're playing a deck where people aren't really siding in much backward removal for. They might have Cyclone for the Fountain, but then they have to choose between this and Fountain to Cyclone. It's like, obviously they're going to pick this, but you keep the Fountain online to keep out advantaging them. And it's good against Sword Soul going first. Sword Soul can have Vishuda too, but they're not always going to have Vishuda. So if they go for like Moye or Longwan, you flip this. They can't Bro and they can't Chi Zhao, and then they're just kind of stuck here until they can out it. They can have Blackout, but they have to like hard draw it at that point because they can't search it off the Chi Zhao because they're not going to be able to activate it. So this card was just like, it's just better than D-Barrier because D-Barrier is great. It's a single turn, just turn it off, and it's chainable. So for back row, you can flip it. But this is just Mystic Minded Home. They can't attack. They can't activate the effects of level 6 RI special summon monsters. And I'm really glad I played it. It just won me 4 games for sure. 3 Eradicator. I played 2 Lab, but I just beat them without it. I 2-0'd, my last round was round 10 was a lab player. I won the die roll. I set up my combo. He couldn't play through it because I just out-resourced him. Like, he did a few things to, like, kind of deal with my board, but it's just, like, I just have so many cards that it just doesn't, like, that's the thing with this deck. Like, I don't think I misplayed it all. Like, I have to go back in hindsight and actually think about it. It's been kind of a whirlwind. But, like, even if you do, like, a small misplay isn't going to affect you so much just because you have so many cards to just correct course. I think, like, oh, yeah, I think one time I tried to Chalice a Mirror Jade, and then he chained Cartesia to, like, Fuse to resolve the Mirror Jade. I was like, oh, yeah, right, you can do that. But it just didn't matter because, like, he had 3 cards. He'd, like, set up Dragos Stapelia and then brought back the Mirror Jade with, like, ad libitum or something. But it just didn't matter because I just had so much gas that I was able to link line with Philo, link off the Mirror Jade, and then just set up Runick shit, and then Flashing Fire pop the Dragos Stapelia, and then it was just over. And then, like, eventually you're just going to banish all the Albaz. Like, I remember he searched, added back Brand Fusion with Retribution, and then I went Smiting Storm to banish 4, and I banished the second Albaz, and he just passed because he just, I just had Grave the Super Ancient Organism up, and he couldn't resolve Brand Fusion because all of his Albazes were going. Anyway, back to Eradicator. So the play with this is typically you make Lab is going to have like Lava Golem and Sphere modes. They're going to see that you summon like 3 or 4 monsters turn 1. They're going to keep those in. And then the next game you go first, you put this in, you summon Scareclaw, Triheart, and you pass. That's it. You set this, you summon Triheart, you pass. You flip this immediately to wipe the traps from their hand. Even if they have like extra to draw, any traps they draw are still going to die. And then you turn off all their Sphere modes and Lava Golems, and then you just out-resource them on the next turn because they have no cards. Even if they Lava Golem you at that point, you're just so far ahead that it doesn't matter. They can't draw any traps still because this resolves for 3 turns, and you're just so far ahead that you win the game. That's the theory. Same thing with Runick. You put this in against Runick too going first. Just wipe all their spells. They can chain them, sure, but then after they chain the one, it's resolving, blowing up the rest. So great card. What else? We had back row removal, 3 Evenly, 2 Lightning, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Game 2, round 10, I drew the Feather Duster, blew him out, and that was a wrap. Pretty easy slide into top cut, or top 8. Evenly seems like it would conflict with the Runicks, but typically you're going second, you're going battle phase, you're activating Evenly before you do anything else, either baiting something or getting rid of a lot of interruptions against like Lab or another back row deck. I saw it once, but I saw it twice, but the 2 times I saw it with these, and I figured I might as well just play these and not give up my battle phase. So like it didn't do much. I just discarded it off of Hugin. Maybe it could be something else, but like I wanted to have just like enough pieces of back row removal to deal with back row decks. That's the list. I guess we can do a simple combo, but like I did a combo in the last video. It was just a bit outdated. I wasn't playing Dampa. My side was bad, and like my extra wasn't complete. Some people play like the Heat Soul line. I don't think that's needed. Like you're drawing enough already. If you're resolving your combo and getting to the point where you can make the Heat Soul line, you have the whole combo anyway. So like you don't really need to draw 2 more cards. It really just doesn't matter. I discarded a hand size so many times yesterday. Like once a match, I was just like, because people tend to just not scoop to Runick stuff because like I can't actually kill them. I have to skip my battle phase, so they keep playing. I'm like, okay, I have 15 cards to your 2, and I have two ways to win in time. I guess we'll keep playing, and like it's up to you. Like people just didn't know how to scoop. Like again, but I didn't go to time at all. No judge calls. It was a very smooth tournament. Smoothest one I played in a while. So really grateful, really happy that I finally topped with a off meta deck. That's what I love doing. It feels even better doing well with something that people aren't expecting and that people write off as not very good. So hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I will catch you all in the next one. Enjoy your coffees. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.